she's
anything else.
princess. She's coming out to slice that cheese, and I'm like, oh, you
Hmm.
bitch, you a sassy bitch. I respect it though.
Did I tell you guys that I found out that I don't compete on Saturday? I compete on Friday.
Huh.
So I've been counting down wrong. And apparently our 1 year anniversary is not on show day. So that's a bonus.
There you go. So
It's
it's the
the
day
day
after.
before.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Well, no, wrong. I compete the day before and then we do our 1 year. So
Yeah. That's
yeah,
better.
That's better.
kinda, I think, because if I have a celebratory dinner, it's gonna be Friday. And then Saturday I'm back on prep. So
Because you're doing multiple shows?
most likely.
Yeah. Might as well.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
should.
you might as well. But like, I'll be honest, like it's not like the day is fine, but it's the quality time. So it's really not
Yeah.
that big of a deal at all. Like you
Hmm.
guys are gonna be able to not only celebrate like you stepping on stage part two, but then still celebrating each other. So
Hmm.
like it's gonna be special. It's gonna be great. So
Yeah,
it'll
I'm
be
excited. It
good.
just moves everything forward. And I'm like, oh fuck, I lost a day of prep. God damn it.
Oh, you're
So
fine. You
that's
look
okay.
great. I saw your story today earlier. I was
Yeah,
like,
I did too.
damn. He's like
Definitely the
ready
best I've
to.
ever looked. So
Hmm.
this is nuts. But Mina, Miss Lady, how
Hi,
far out are you? Do you have a show?
I do. Hold on, I lost you guys. Me and my tech issues, I lost you. There we
Oh
go.
no.
So I'm about 16 weeks out. I'm doing North Americans.
Ooh.
Um, I had planned to do shows a little bit earlier, but my body just was like, we're not ready to do. I mean, from December to August is pretty quick turnaround anyways.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
So kind of a,
Definitely.
so I wanted to be able to like do back-to-back shows if I needed to.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Pretty
Mhm.
much North Americans is like the last one of the summer. So go hard or go home, I guess.
Yeah.
So
You could always, hopefully not, but like you could always still do nationals too. It's not like crazy,
Too
but we
extended.
give
Yeah.
you time to probably pull back for a little bit. But if you wanted to,
and depending on how close I am to where I need to be or like how my body is doing, I might
yeah.
do the Olympia Amateur as well.
Oh,
Which,
that's October, right?
right, I think it's like October 9th. So not too far down the road. Um, but we'll just one day at a time. I'm like, I have a plan A, B, C through Z,
Mhm.
whereas I'm like trying to consciously be like, okay, just one day at a time, win the day, and try to not think too far in advance. Because I feel like that's how I become my own worst enemy of just like the what ifs,
Yeah.
Sure.
which
Yeah, and plus, like, if you get like locked into like mentally a show and your body's not ready for it, it's like then that's another mind fuck, which is why it's like
Yeah.
obviously when it comes to national shows, like you have more of a crunch time and a little less wiggle room. But like Laura said, it's like you still have more opportunities where you still have like B and C if A doesn't work out, especially because you had that quick turnaround time and maybe initially your body wasn't responding, but like it's something where it's like you want to make sure that you bring your best. And I know you are so passionate about this and that you'll be ready with everything else when it comes to like your posing, especially. So it's like I'm excited for you.
thanks, dude. By the time I get on stage, it'll be a year without training my upper body at all. So
That's crazy.
And Meg's like all upper over there.
Dude, I don't know how I did no upper before. For like what? I did it for like 18 months fully, no upper, and I still grew. Bullshit.
I was looking at your post, I think it was last night of your back, and I was like, her
Where's
body
she?
was like,
What? Where was she
please,
hiding
me,
that?
bro.
I know. Yeah, but you said something. You said win the day, and I need to share something hilarious with you guys. So yesterday on ChatGPT, I was like, make me a caption about winning the day, okay? And it sounded like super masculine. So I was like, okay, make it more feminine. So it spiced it up. And then I was like, fuck around and find out kind of thing. I was like, make it more gay. So it says it says serving strength, sass, and just the right amount of sparkle because this queen didn't come to play. She came to win the day. And then I was like, nah, we can do better. So I was like, more gay. And it just kept going. And I was like, okay, more gay times three. And this is like amazing. It says laced up, glammed up, empowered by delusion and protein because winning the day isn't optional when you're this iconic. Muscles, mood, and main character energy only. And I was like, yes, that is this prep. And that's why I use that as my freaking caption. It's
That
amazing.
is awesome.
Yeah. So if you ever want to smile, just make ChatGPT make your things more gay. And it does. It makes it more happy, more gay, and
But
more
times three.
sassy. Times
Times
three.
three.
Gotta keep doing it. So
That's awesome.
that's what I do with my day. So,
Just have
but
Chat GPT hype you up.
yeah, that's all. It works. It works.
Speaking of hype, I feel like that's a great segue into our topic of like discussing the whole idea of being quote unquote undeniable. And I will just
Hmm.
say from experience, newly on, I used that phrase because it was like hype, right? It was hype. And a lot of it's also from the coaching aspect, like a marketing strategy, where it's like, oh, I'll make sure you're undeniable for your next prep. And like that's something that like a lot of coaches do to like
Hmm.
get people that are like super amped and jazzed up on motivation to be like, oh, I'm going to hire them because they're going to make sure I win. And then a lot of the times they get on these big teams and, they get all the hype and all of like the people like just like ramping them up and stuff like that. And then they present and it's like, 1 to 5% chance they actually do really well. But the other people, like, they just don't do that well because it was all fake hype and smoke and mirrors. And I know Mina wanted to kind of discuss that because this sport is subjective. Like, you have multiple judges, you have panels, and you have people that have different preferences within the criteria. So, Mina, I want you to kind of take it away and talk about like why you wanted to discuss this and like what grinds your gears, but also like how do you want to change it and flip the script?
Well, like similarly to you, until a few months ago, I had that mindset of like, I'm gonna come in undeniable
Mhm.
because in my mind, I honestly thought that I was, but I was undeniable for myself, which that's kind of the way I want to flip the script. But kind of to the note of people want to bring their best. People forget this is a subjective sport where, depending on who the judges are that day, you can judge the same lineup of people and it go many different ways, especially the more you move up in the sport and where the margin of difference is much smaller. So, like at a national level, at a pro level, at the Olympia, if you took 5 different judges and judged the Olympia, it might go differently. There's certain criteria that we have to fall within, but there's a lot of discrepancy along the way. And a lot of people get caught up with that idea of I'm going to be undeniable and then end up extremely disappointed when they don't
When
win
they
the
were
show
denied.
they thought they would. Because I mean, even just like looking at like the regional show that I did this last year, I was looking at myself versus the other competitor. I'm like, honestly, I could argue for her to win. I was larger than her, but she was more conditioned. And like really any single class that you look at, you're like, well, depending on which criteria we're leaning more towards, we could judge it a million different ways. So it's important to me because I think this newer generation of bodybuilders, along outside of all the reasons why they are maybe not fit for the sport, they also they're like, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna win my pro card at my first national show. And I'm like, just hope for the top 5 because you could look in your mind the best on stage that day, but it matters what the judges think. So I don't know if
Yeah.
that particularly answers your question or kind of dives
and
into.
and some. Yeah. Do you guys have any follow-up things to add or ask? 'Cause I that was a great answer.
I mean, I chatted with Meg ever so slightly prior to this, but about her experience with the Tampa
Hmm.
Pro. And
Mm.
like, I
Dude.
mean, for my preference of what I want people to look like, I would have thought that she had won the whole show. And
Mm.
they're like, hey, you don't fit the criteria. You're a little bit too big, and kind of the same situation with myself. So it's a game of, I think, switching the mindset from I want to be undeniable to like I truly just want to be the best version of myself and do the best I can that day amongst the people that I'm on stage with.
Yeah. I think it's tough because I mean a lot of people don't qualify bodybuilding as a sport, but I do. But it is subjective. We don't have a stopwatch or a finish line. We're being judged by human eyes, preferences, and criteria. That's it. And like you said, it can definitely change on the day. And based on the judges too, but it does suck when you have in your mind like, oh, I'm gonna win, and you put all this unnecessary pressure on yourself, and then other people do too because they're hyping you up in the comments. Your mom's hyping you up, your grandma's hyping you up. Like it's like nobody matters except for the judges on that day. So that's why this prep like is totally different. I'm going into it with no expectations. I've never competed in this class before. I'm just like, fuck it. I'm just gonna try to get big and show up shredded. And that's what I'm going to offer the judges. But I think putting more pressure on yourself by thinking that you are going to win, like it's great to like mentally be like, yeah, like I'm going to win. Like I'm playing to win pretty much because that's what we all do. Like we're not here to just get a participation award or whatever. But to like believe it so deeply that when you don't win or don't place well, you're like, oh, the judges are wrong. Like I deserve to win. Then you just turn to a sore loser. And I hate those types of competitors. Like they're the worst. But
Right. I think there's a difference between playing to win
mhm.
versus I'm going to win.
Yeah.
Because like you don't know the outcome, right?
Hmm.
But people that are so outcome focused or results focused, like they're the ones that usually end up like getting fucking like stamp denied and slapped in the face when it comes to being disappointed with their results, right? But playing to win to me invokes a responsibility and ownership of showing up, doing your best and giving your best, even though you might understand that your best might not be good enough for that day, right? But that's also why it's important to like work together with your coach or if you're coaching yourself to like have a game plan and to have backups because you might show up at your best, but that best might not be good enough to that judging panel at national shows or that first national showing. Then you want to try other national shows, right? So it is one of those things where I'm going to win and kind of being cocky versus
Hmm.
I'm playing to win and
Hmm.
being still aggressive and passionate, but a little less like dickish, if that makes any sense.
A
I
little
think
less
too,
dick.
what's a little hairy when it comes to classes and categories and all that type of stuff is there's multiple looks that look good per division.
Hmm.
And I think people tend to kind of prefer certain looks that are more relatable to their actual physiques. And that's not always what is winning in that class. And I think that also has to put you to a position that you're questioning yourself, like, yes, I want to win, I want to place well, but you also want to show up better than you have in the past. You want it to be a personal best, and you also want to like your own look. And I think that that's where it kind of gets a little complicated as to what may be right or wrong for the athlete because your stage day is one day out of the fucking year.
Yeah.
And, I think a lot between like being a bigger wellness competitor, a smaller wellness competitor, more muscular bikini, less, it has to be also lifestyle compatible to how the person likes to train and lives their life and all of that stuff. And
Mhm.
that doesn't make you less successful, in my opinion, if one certain particular way is more appealing to you than another.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I used to be that person that was like, people that say shit like that are making them an excuse for not doing as well as they should be. And my opinion on that's changed because I think that there are plenty of athletes out there that bust their ass, change of time, and still fall short.
Yeah. I agree.
Absolutely. It is also like something to also take into consideration when it comes to like how the muscle looks on the frame, which is why it's so subjective because especially female bodies, it's like Meg and I are the same height, but I got a lot of femur, right? So it's like our torso to femur ratio, and obviously fucking muscle mass, like duh, right? Like duh, muscle mass, muscularity, but like it looks different, right? So I'm gonna be in a taller height division, like potentially E or G, depending upon how many classes are at my show. Like,
Why?
why bother? Right? Exactly. So it is something where it's like the judges might not like the fact that I have a shorter torso and longer legs. But the next time I compete, if I do two shows, I have no idea. Maybe that one judge is like, I actually do like this look for bikini. But
Mhm.
like, I can't do shit about that. I'm not gonna get surgery to fucking slap my femurs in half and get shorter. I'm not gonna like do a crazy spinal inversion to see if I can elongate myself like a
It
giraffe. Like,
works.
I
Fucking
believe that
works.
it
I
does.
swear I got
Absolutely.
taller. I think I'm taller than Will now.
It makes
It's
like I'm
not
actually
cool.
6 foot. I'm no longer 5'7". I am 6 foot. But like legitimately though, like it's one of those things where like you might fit the criteria, but that judge just might not how it looks on you with your
Yeah.
your body type. And it's like you can't take it too personal, right? But
Mhm.
that's the thing is like understanding that like the reason why we talk about like doing your best and trying your best and playing to win is the energy that you dedicate to your off season, to your prep, to your training, to your cardio, to your meals, like not missing and doing everything in your power, controlling your controllables in air quotes, so that way you have known in your heart that whatever the result is, that is truly your best. And if that best is good enough, fucking fist bump. Love it. If it's not, what are you gonna do? You're gonna
Try
try.
again.
Exactly.
Again.
I
Mhm.
think it's important to kind of circle back to where you're saying you're like, I have a short torso and long femurs. If you're on a stage with a bunch of other women who have short torsos and long femurs,
Hmm.
you're more likely to fare well. Whereas if you're on stage with a
Yeah.
bunch of like human corgis, you're going to be the odd man out. I'm the human
See,
corgi.
that's fucking great.
That's
But
awesome.
you, but you might not fare as well. Where so
Yeah.
like who again those variables that can change from show to show, day to day. I think who you're on stage with is super important too. Like
Dude, yeah.
circling back to my show or my most recent show or Meg's Tampa Pro, if there had been a bunch of big girls on stage, we wouldn't have stuck out quite so much. So
Yeah. It's
that's
that apples
that's
to
one note I wanted to
oranges.
add there.
Hmm.
Yeah, definitely. It's that apples to oranges thing. Like, if you're the only orange on stage, like, you're gonna get docked. Like, and that's just because they're taking it as, this is what is in front of us today. But I feel like that applies a lot to like regional. For the pro league, I think I agree with the judges' feedback. I was in denial 100%. I got some wide ass clavicles. Like, so I don't, figure's just not for me. At the time, I was like, this is bullshit. But I was definitely the orange in that scenario. So it makes sense. And you have to factor that in too. Like, you could be the ripest, I don't know,
The
freaking
He's like, you
juiciest
could be
orange.
fucking
juiciest peach.
Tropicana.
Doesn't matter. They're going for freaking, I don't know, shitty apples today. But that is true.
Yeah, like there's nothing wrong about being passionate and having like a sense of pride in being a bodybuilder. In fact, I wish more people would. I wish the sport would be less of like a bucket list type of thing and more of an athletic sport, right? More of like people do want to win. So that way we do have fiercer competition and, you know, better athletes on stage and like less people like risking it for the biscuit when it comes to their health. Like people that through and through want to be better and make the industry better. And I know that's a very like Miss America answer, but like I wish that, right? Because we do see people like I know there was this thing going around where I'm sure you ladies saw it where it was like this girl was 3 weeks out and people were like, oh yeah, like you know what I'm talking about? The girl that was like I,
That
I'm
wanted to compete with her dad.
Yes, yes. Where it's
Hmm.
like it
Well, I think
caused Flora, God damn it. Will you just get with the times? I'll try to
She's
find
a
it.
busy lady. Here, I'll try to find it and send it to you, Laura.
Yeah, but it's like
um,
she was wanting to compete and because her dad was competing. And it's like that is a very sweet, kind notion, right? That is very sweet. But like her physique is like, she's like 60 pounds over
oh,
like a
okay.
stage weight, and she was 3 weeks out. And it's like
Hmm.
Laura right now is 3 weeks out, right? It's like a huge difference and in body fat, absolutely. And it really did just cause this huge tearing veil of like some bodybuilders being like, what the fuck? This is not bodybuilding. And then other bodybuilders being like, do whatever you need to do. You look great. And it's like, well, I can see an argument for both sides, right? It's like I understand that like the bodybuilders that play to win are gonna feel a certain way about someone like that. But then also like the bodybuilders that do just kind of want to do this for shits and kicks, they're gonna be like, the gay times three and be like, yes, powdered queen. You know what I'm saying? But like at the end of the day, it's like,
Sparkle.
yeah, sparkle. But it's like at the end of the day, it's like I feel like it's almost like watching Fox News or CNN. It's like they're just trying to cause division and nothing gets accomplished. Like people are still pissed off and nothing good comes of it. So at the end of the day, it's like however you want to bodybuild is fine, but then you also have to understand the expectations and the outcomes. If you're just doing this for shits and kicks, you're gonna get likely a shits and kicks result. But if you're planning to win, there's no guarantee that you're obviously going to win the overall, but you probably have a higher chance since you're putting in more effort. It's an effort-based outcome.
I know I'm
Yeah.
a little closer to competing right now than you guys, but just thinking about the amount of money you spend just to sign up for a fucking show, that's crazy. I don't
Dude,
know.
yeah.
Like,
But that's why they make transformation
Yeah,
classes. You know, like Summer Shredding does it. And I know a girl who actually trains at my gym. I don't know her really. I just followed her on Instagram. She did a transformative class and like she made amazing progress. And like those people should still be celebrated because
for
that's
sure.
fucking kick ass. But is it competitive bodybuilding? No. Should you step on stage next to competitive bodybuilders who are taking this seriously? In my opinion, no, because that is why they make those classes. You know, there's more of them nowadays because they're money makers. You know, people want to show off, like, look how hard I worked. Like, look at my before and after. Look at my journey. It's motivating. It really is. But I do think that a lot of the coaches who are just trying to like play nice in the comments and be like, you go, girl. Like, you got this. Step on stage, prove them wrong. Like, what are they? No, you're
As
just clouding
bodybuilders.
her head up with delusion. Yeah. It's kind of bullshit. I think that's rude to be to lie to somebody straight to their face, saying like, oh no, like you deserve to be up there. Like, go get it, girl. Like, no.
And
Like,
then
yeah,
I guarantee if that was somebody who kind of got their feet wet like that and then got serious
mhm,
about bodybuilding would look back on that and be like, oh, I shouldn't have done that.
well, that's kind
yeah.
of, do you think that those people who like compete and aren't ready, they have like people in the comments, their family kind of lying to them and are like, oh, you're ready. They go and get their feedback. Do you feel like those are the people who also tend to villainize bodybuilding? Like, oh, bodybuilding ruined my life or gave me body dysmorphia, which we
Hmm.
all have, but like ruined
Yeah.
my image,
Yeah.
things like that.
I
Yeah.
agree 100%. And I was almost there. I was almost there because I was like, fuck bodybuilding. Like when I lost my my pro debut, I came in dead last 16th. Like it was a fucking like wake up call. Like, you ain't shit. Like you're a new pro. You're at the bottom of the totem pole. Because
Hmm.
I never lost really a show. I mean, my first national show, I placed fifth. And then the second year, I won my pro card. Then it was just like, oh, I'm gonna win. Like, but no, I was just fucking delusional. But when I lost, I was like, screw bodybuilding. Like, that's why I have my eating disorder back. That's why this, that's why that. But it wasn't. It was all up here. And I had to do some deep, dirty work up here to like get to where I am now. Like, I took what 2 years completely off from bodybuilding training, from eating like that, prior to me even reaching out to Cameron, because I didn't want to like reach out to him still in like a shitty mindset and being like, oh, bodybuilding ruined me, but
Hmm.
let's have at it again, you know, because it's never bodybuilding. It's more so what you're thinking in your head and how you're speaking to yourself, how you're handling yourself, how you're handling the losses. It's not bodybuilding. It's probably poor coaching or poor mindset for sure.
Yeah, I think you nailed it on the head though with the money making when it
Hmm.
comes to those like transformation divisions, because like that's why that people that have no business competing with people that are playing to win compete with people who are playing to win because there's usually not a category at every single show,
Hmm.
right? It's like you mentioned like a name brand that's like that's one show that is known
Yeah.
for the transformation division, but like most divisions and most shows just don't offer that class, which is why they are with the people that are gunning for national stages, pro cards, Olympia qualifications, all of that stuff. Because I was talking to Eric about this and I was like, what do you think should be done? Like, what are your thoughts? And he was like, one, it's about money. It's a business.
Hmm.
They want to make the most amount of money. But if they are wanting to regulate the class or the divisions, then every division should have a weight cap. And it should be something where it respects muscle mass and weeds out fat mass. Because, like, obviously, again, I understand that different women, heights, implants, hair, yeah, exactly. Like, you're gonna have different weights, but it's not like me being 5'6", 5'7", and putting a weight cap of 150. Like, if there's a muscular ass bikini woman, she'd be fucked. I'm not saying have like a weight cap where people have to start using like diuretics in the bikini division just to down. I mean like 5'7", 160, right? Like, and if it's like a true 160 and you have that much muscle, you're probably no longer bikini, honestly. Like, you're probably like, yo, just fucking go up to wellness, you know? But it's one of those things where it's like, why not just like put a weight cap on it then? So that way it's like, you at least got to get down some enough so we can see shape and structure of the muscle that you have built. It's not just like you're 80 pounds overweight and you're just, twisting your body to like, get into the front pose. But what do you guys think about that?
I think it's a
Hmm.
good idea. I think it would be hard on a regional level. Just like, so for instance, signing up the other day for the competition, I was helping some of my girls that are also doing it. Bikini, there's already 4 classes. Wellness, there's only 2 classes. So how are you going to have
Mm.
2 height classes as is, and then also add a weight cap to it?
Hmm.
So I think that that would
Well, there
hurt.
needs to be like a
But
certain
at a national
class.
level,
Yeah.
maybe.
I think you'd have to do it kind of like you would classic, where like it's by your actual height, not necessarily the class. But I think there's a lot of discrepancy there. Like my stage weight was 140. There's a girl who does wellness, Stephanie. She's like 5'2", and her stage weight was 143. So it would have to be a very, very like
Right. I'm
large
not saying
margin.
like classic where it's like a few pounds for 1 inch of height. I mean like, okay, so you said 5'2". Okay, I wouldn't go above like 165. You know what I'm saying? Because at
You're right.
some point, it's like
6'5" is dense for
That's a
female
that's
dense
dense,
scale.
bitch.
right? That's a meatball of a woman. Let me see her.
I'm just
I
thinking,
want
like,
her.
holy shit, I'm 5 feet and 118 and like
Right, but that's what I'm saying,
12
right? So it's like that would be like 143 to 140. I mean, like, yeah, you're gonna notice a difference, especially on a 5'2" girl. But if
Hmm.
the weight cap is something like 155, 160, like we're saying, you're not
There's
gonna be
no
just muscle, right? But you also can't are unlikely to show up like obese,
Hmm.
right.
which is
Yeah.
like the whole point of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But
I
I
get
mean,
that
I,
100%.
I still don't know if that weight cap would weed out some of those people though.
Yeah.
Because like when we think about relativity of muscle mass to fat, like the probability of that girl that we're kind of all talking about in that video, the probability of her weighing more than 160 pounds is like very unlikely, just based on the lack of actual like
Muscle.
lean tissue she has. So I
Yeah.
don't know how well it would work. I think there'd be, it's great in theory, but
Hmm.
and I don't know.
I mean,
I
yeah, like who
know.
knows, right? It's just speculation, but also it's like people that maybe are new to bodybuilding, they see a weight cap, and like some people just like can't handle the scale, right? So they see a weight cap and they're like, "Oh, fuck that. I'm not doing it because I can't handle the scale." And it's like, in a way, like I get that that might be too harsh, but on the same note, it's like that's why it's important to do bodybuilding and care about like other things, including your mental health. Because if you can't
Yeah.
handle scale, dog, your fucking bodybuilding journey, trying to peak, prep, all that shit, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough if you have not shaken hands with the idea that the scale is just a number. It is not your self-worth. And maybe that's just Goldilocks thinking. Maybe that is like too quote unquote harsh for the real world, but I do think something
Hmm.
maybe needs to be considered when it comes to like the idea of doing like pee-wee football versus I'm playing to be drafted by the NFL.
It's a
Because
Hmm.
like
growth, it's a growth factor for sure.
mhm.
Of
Yeah.
of just kind of coming into comfort with who you are. I think that
Yeah.
someone's gonna really hyper fixate on weight when they feel insecure in their physique.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm fucking pumped to be like a big old bitch when I'm shredded. Like what I stepped on stage at like 175 for my pro debut. No way I'm gonna be dropping down that light. Like I'll probably be 180, 182. Like I'm 196 right now, 12 weeks out. And like I've been in prep for 12 fucking weeks. And the fact that people are like, oh, this is what's grinding my gears. Sorry, little rant. Um, that you have to always lose weight in prep. Like I have barely lost weight. Like I started my prep at 198, went up to 202, went down to 196. Now I'm chilling at 196 to 198. But like I'm recomping. And I always tell my clients, I'm like, especially if you're an enhanced athlete, bodybuilding competition prep is not a weight loss prep. You know, my weight will probably not really budge until like 3 4 weeks out when we cut maybe like growth and stuff like that, where the water will flush. But like when you're an enhanced athlete, your weight will probably stay higher, but your body will be recomping. So tying your progress just to the scale is going to fuck your mind up because I'm over here like maintaining, but I'm seeing like I'm getting leaner and all this stuff. And I'm like, fuck yeah. I mean, it would be cool like to say, oh, I've been prepping for 12 weeks. Well, how much weight have you lost? None. Like
No.
people are like, oh, well, you're fucked. It's like, no, because the pictures
Yeah.
show a lot of change. So
I had
Sure.
a similar experience last year. There was like 10 weeks where my weight just was like 157. And I'm
yeah,
like, when it's that long, I was like kind of getting in my own head, but
yeah.
like I'm getting better. So
Hmm.
who
That's
cares what
good.
the number says? And that's I think a lot of newer athletes also get caught up on like the weight didn't go down this week. I'm like, okay, well like let's look at our
Yeah.
variables.
Dude, when
I
my clients are like,
100% agree. My
yeah,
my only like perspective is God loves Meg and Mina a lot more than Laura and me. When it comes to like the genetic and the ability to just pack on density,
old
it's not that you
mass.
guys, it's not that you do not work hard for it. I'm not saying that even a little bit, right? Someone like me that's like I still gotta like shred off a decent amount of fat. I do gotta look at the scale and I gotta look at visuals because if that scale ain't
Oh
dropping,
yeah.
like I ain't recomping at this point. Like maybe a little bit because yeah, we're using androgens, but at the same time, it's like my body is not one that wants to put on a lot of mass and recomp. And
Mhm.
like I feel like more people are probably like me, where it's like I'm not saying I'm getting like worked up about the scale. Like I got Austin for that. I don't give a shit. But it's at the
That's
same
what I was gonna
time.
say.
Yeah, it's like it's just a tool. It's a tool
Dude.
amongst anything else. But at the end of the day, again, you're not bringing your. I mean, you might bring a scale to your show if you need to be that level of water manipulation. But like for the majority of us, it's always going to be a look, right? It is a look that you bring to stage, and a tool, and the scale is just the tool. But I did just want to like say my piece about there. But God loves both Meg and Mina a lot more, which is why I live vicariously through you guys when it comes to WPD and wellness.
That's what I
Or
was
I
gonna
do too,
say.
but
Depending on how this year goes, I might be joining Meg in WPD.
would you
Hey,
really?
I
Yeah,
mean, her training's glutes. That's all she can train.
I do a
Like
little
she's,
hamstrings too.
oh, you do a little
Forget the
hamstring. I'm
hamstrings.
sorry.
Um, well, that's, I mean, if like Steve or Sandy were to look at me dead in my face and be like, you will never be wellness, because like I have a wide clavicle too. Like I'm a big bitch. Like I
Hmm.
wear a size 9.5 ring. I'm quite literally big boned.
Hmm.
So if they're like, you're never gonna be what we are looking for, I'm not just gonna quit bodybuilding. I can't do figure because my legs are too big for figure. So my next
Hmm.
option is WPD. And then my training would be completely inverse as well, all upper, which would be
It's a
fun.
fun change. It's a fun
I mean, I
change.
miss it. I'm like looking at the dumbbells, like, hey,
Hey.
you guys
What a
need
fun
to
problem to
go.
have. Just being like, oh, you're too big. Like,
It,
Well, I mean,
it
that's
it
what I was
sucks.
told last year.
Yeah, it sucks mentally to wrap your head around that
sure.
though, because last year, when I was like gearing up for this prep, I was so gung ho on wellness, and I would ask like reputable coaches that I will not name, and I was like, okay, well, should I do wellness or WPD? And they were straight up honest with me. They were like, you're not gonna go very far in wellness, do WPD. And I was like, ah, fuck you, fuck this guy. And I just like kept going with wellness and then herniated my disc. And then, hello, we're doing WPD. And I haven't been this happy about bodybuilding in so long. So it sucks in the moment because it's not what you want to hear. But
Yeah.
then when you start seeing your body transform and you're like, why did I let my body like, or like, why did I hold my body back so much? when like I love upper body training. Like I never hated it,
Mhm.
but I thought I did because I was like all about lower body training. But then when I flipped that script, when I couldn't train lower body, I was like, fuck. Like I love being like a masculine bitch, not masculine,
Massive, massive.
massive bitch,
Masculine times
not
three.
masculine, feminine, massive bitch. There we go.
And no, this is a little bit of a sharp left, but kind of ties into our topic today. And like what we were saying about people hyping you up, whether it's true or false. I know, Meg, you're kind of out of the amateur league now, but like pro card loading, pro card coming, pro card inevitable. And I'm like, can you guys shut the fuck up for a minute and just like, because I want it really bad and you're making me want it really more, like a lot more. And it's even worse when it's coming from like coaches, opposing coaches.
Hmm.
Like, you guys know just as well as I do that you never know what could happen. There's some really incredible physiques who haven't gotten a pro card yet. So,
Hmm.
um, I just wanted to kind of start, like, we were talking about the positive hype when, like, the physique is not there, but what about the over positive hype when the physique is there?
Yeah, it just puts all this expectation on you. That's why I honestly hated competing at my pro debut because that's what everybody was saying. They were like, "Oh,
Oh,
you're gonna
fall
win.
coming.
You're gonna win. You're gonna get to the Olympia." Placed 16th. I was like, "What?" When I didn't hear my name for first call outs, I was like, "Okay, that's fine." Second call outs, no name. I was like, "All right, I'm gonna shit myself." And then they said it like last. I was like, "All right." But that just goes to show, yeah, like even if you do have like this killer physique, like it doesn't mean that you're worthy of the pro card or worthy of the win because
Mhm.
you're not up on stage competing next to those people just yet. So I love that pro card loading. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, that one just, that's what grinds my gears. So, like,
Yeah.
I don't do that to people either. I'm like, hey, you're gonna bring your best yet. Like, super proud of you. You look fantastic. Like, your time, I'm okay with your time is coming, but
Yeah.
like, not like
Yeah.
pro card out the gate.
Because I don't know what that means. Your time is coming to win. Your time is coming to lose. Like,
Who knows?
we'll see.
Um,
Yeah.
no, that's
I like the it's almost like a mom answer to just do your best, but like
Mhm.
that helps to keep you more level-headed
Yeah.
because that is something that you can't control. You can't control if you win your class, you can't control if you win the overall, you can't control if you win a pro card. Like those are results that are not up to you, right? It's not up to you. It's the only point that is up to you is based on your effort. But again, going back to the whole point of this topic is this is a subjective sport. While yes, there is criteria for every single division, like at the end of the day, every single person, like this is actually what I love about bodybuilding is it's so unique based on every single person who participates. Like every look is different because it is a different woman, it is a different man based on what they did in the gym and in the kitchen and all other aspects of their life. Like they literally created art with their lives. And I think that is so fucking cool. And I feel like that's something that's really slept on in bodybuilding is the art. And I'm sure Mina, that also grinds your gears, considering that you help to present the art as a opposing coach, right? It is one of those things where you can have the best physique on stage, but if you don't know how to present it, then pro card loading, but like, it's one of those things where I just think that the art form of bodybuilding can be respected just as much as it being a sport.
yeah, I like that a lot. Um, I think even sometimes competitors forget that themselves. Like even our newer competitors who don't practice their posing quite as much. I think the posing and the art form really correlates really heavily. And so like you get these newer competitors, they're like, oh, I'm just gonna go hit these poses. I'm like, yeah, but how you put so much time, effort, and energy into your diet, your training, like why don't you want to put that into your posing? Because your physique might be by up here, but your posing's down here. So like why don't we bring those to match?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Um, so that's I lost you. There we go. Me and my technical difficulties. But yeah, I think it's really underplayed, and I think just circling back to like the things we're able to control, posing is one of them. That's one
Mhm.
thing. Like I can lay my head to rest at night. I'm like, I know my posing crushed. Like I know no matter who is on that stage, I'm going to have some really, really solid posing. And so why not make the most of those things that we can control?
Yeah,
Um,
I
but
feel that because
so that's why like you're
I
working.
hate. Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead. So I'm like, you're working with the opposing coach and look at the
Yeah,
level that you're at. I don't think anyone ever really outgrows. Like even Laura has a second set of eyes, but no one outgrows having at least someone take a look at
a
you.
coach. Yeah, yeah. And as you progress in the sport, the competition gets steeper. Your body grows. You're gonna have to change and shift the way that you pose it because I had no clue how to do a fucking side chest or a side tricep. Like I had no idea. She asked me to hit it on our first posing call. I was like, like what? Side what? So like I but I'm gonna work hard at it. Like I'm 12 weeks out. I'm gonna be practicing my posing every single fucking week now. And there's these people that, yeah, they just show up like, and they're like, oh, I'm just going to wing my presentation around. It's like, I'm sorry. You're going to wing it after you just suffered through a 24 or whatever week prep. That's ridiculous. And like the way that, another thing, and you can probably touch on this, Mina, is, the way that I pose now at 12 weeks out, it may have to change when I'm 3, 4 weeks out when I'm shredded and I need to accentuate different things. Maybe I lose a little pop, so I have to turn a different way. People don't think about that. And they're like, oh, I hired a posing coach for like 2 sessions. I'm good. It's like, no, you need to continuously work with them, just like a regular coach. Like we have to tweak things along the way. So I don't know if you wanted to touch on the importance of that, but
Well, I mean, even like the way I set up my posing packages, the last 2 weeks, I like to have people meet with me twice a week because your body is changing so rapidly as you're like reducing inflammation, new lines are coming out,
mm-hmm,
and there's new cues. Like when you're shredded, you have different cues to bring out different lines that just are not visible when you're in the off season or at the beginning of a prep.
mm-hmm,
Body like, I mean, your sides can look different. So like for wellness, like one girl in her off season, her front pose looks awesome with her left leg forward, but as she diets down, it's like, okay, the right leg looks better. But if we didn't continue working together, we would have never known that.
mm-hmm.
So it's super important to stick with somebody and like there are ways to the people who say they cannot afford posing coaching. I'm like, okay, new dark sport. Okay, okay, hair
We're like that
extensions.
with regular coaching. We're like, okay.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm like, where are your priorities at? Because there's ways to save money. You can rent suits, you can do press on nails, you can give yourself a pedicure. That's at least like 6, 8, 10 posing sessions, depending on who you're working with.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's not the place to cut corners. You're posing or you're coaching. And I know it's a little off topic for today, but it's something I'm incredibly passionate about so that you can bring your best to the stage. Because if you're lacking in your posing, you're lacking in how you present yourself, you're not going to bring your best. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
working with people, I can tell who practices in their own time and who doesn't too. It's like, I don't know how much like myself, you guys, like all the posing coaches out there have to drill in people's heads, like, hey, this is super important. You need to practice on your own before people start to get it. It's just like I have some people I meet with week after week after week, and we're talking about the same thing over and over again. I'm like, hey, so like, do you practice at home by yourself ever? And then it usually comes out, whether it's through themselves or another athlete, like, oh, they only practice when they're on the phone. I'm
Yeah.
like,
It
what
shows.
good does that do?
Yeah, absolutely. Meg posted on her close story the hand with like the little fleshlight around it that we used in school, right? But that brings home a point. Think about when you were a kid learning to write, whether it was just
Yes.
regular penmanship or cursive if you're old, right? Your hand, we would use those gel things or use thicker pencils because of
Mm-hmm.
how hard we were
Guides
gripping
you.
the goddamn pen and pencil, but just pencil because we weren't ready for pens. Yeah, we weren't ready for permanents. But because you were trying to focus so fucking hard on making an A to the point where it looked perfect, right? We had to practice on stencils and we literally had a class for writing words and numbers and letters. Posing is the same fucking thing. If you want to get better, your body is going to hurt. Your feet
Hmm.
are going to hurt. You need to have that repetitive motion and movement for your mind and your body to get with the program. And I understand in the off season it's uncomfortable, but you're not doing it to evaluate your body fat or your self-worth. You're doing it to evaluate the skill of posing. And of course, as you get leaner, it becomes a little bit easier to move because you don't have body fat just like horking it, especially around that midline section. But it is something where it's like if you want to get better with the balance, you want to wear your heels. If you want to get better with your walk, you have to practice in your heels. Like, I understand it's really cute to do like the awesome, cool, shredded photos in like the posing room, just being on your tiptoes and your socks, but that's not what you're going to be doing on stage, guys. Like, you're going to be in your heels with the tan on your suit. So, like, practice like you want to play to win and
Hmm.
do it right. So that way, when you get the little stencil out and you're trying to make an A, like it's not super flat because you didn't wear your fucking heels. Like, it's a bad analogy, but at the same time, it's like if you want to practice right, not just be at half-ass effort.
Do you know that makes
Right,
so
but
much sense?
yeah.
And like goes for like WPD girls, like fuck heels, first of all. I'm so happy I'm not wearing those anymore. But same for WPD girls. Like obviously I had some time when I wore like my slippers for check-ins and stuff in the morning because like dog, my feet are nasty. Like
They
they're
are.
gross. They're nasty. And I need to get a pedicure. I really do. But one thing I'm noticing with posing for me is that I have no calluses on the bottom of my feet like I did when I danced. You know, I had like built up calluses. I could smoothly drag my foot across the floor, but like I tried it the other day and I'm over here like, doot, 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 doot. Like I look so stupid. So I'm like, holy shit, I gotta practice like posing really early in this like little posing studio we have on that floor to create those calluses. Like those are the little things that you don't think about because during like your transitions, you want to be seamless. Same with like heels if you don't practice in your heels, your transitions, you're gonna be looking like Bambi on ice, like you know. So yeah, I get it. Like the
Dude,
socks make them comfortable, but it ain't helping you.
Not
Meg,
to
you need like the
mention,
little grippy things that
Hmm.
people put on their shower so they don't like eat shit when they're taking a shower. You need to like put little
Yeah,
grippy little shower grippers on your toes. Sorry, Laura, go
I need
ahead.
to do
I was
something.
gonna say, not to mention adding nerves coupled with that when you're
Oh my
on
god, yeah,
stage.
Oh
dude.
yeah.
Couple that with clen cramps, and your arch like cramps, and oh, the toe
I've played
cramps.
around with WPD poses and like good for you, girl. That's a lot of work. Like
Yeah.
that's
Dude, I'm like out of breath on our opposing call. I'm
well,
like,
so my
it's
I
bad.
wonder if her name's Christina, right?
Yeah, Christina.
So my boyfriend posed with Joey, her husband.
Hmm.
Every single session, I'm like, well, you really got your money's worth out of it. He's just like huffing and puffing. It's just like as soon as you hop on, you're just pose, 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 going through.
Yeah, the first one was cool. It was easy. And I told her, I'm like, because right now I feel great. Like my sciatica doesn't flare up, but I can't really hold poses for longer than 5 seconds. Like, and that's not even me being like a lazy ass. Like shit will just flare and I'll be on the floor crying. But now I can, and I'm scared to tell her that because I feel like she's gonna be like, all right, hold quarter turn, quarter turn. And I'm gonna be like, and at the time, I was like in my little office upstairs. There's no fan in there. And now I'm gonna be in my garage and I'm like, I need to get a fan. Like, or maybe I shouldn't get a fan and just like learn to like get adapted to that because on stage it's hot. Like, I don't think people realize that. Like new competitors, like being a dancer and like growing up on stage, like I knew that those stage lights were hot and I was gonna be sweating and hot. But new competitors, I feel like they get up there and they're just like, holy shit. And they're unconditioned. So when they hit their pose and they hold, then they start sweating,
Sweat.
their
Yeah.
tan drips. It's like, dang, guys, like
Dude,
sticking out like a
dog.
sore
It's
thumb.
hot on stage and it's cold backstage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wear your freaking sweatpants.
Yeah, I
Bye,
think
Laura.
we're gonna hop off to
Yeah,
to
I saw
go in
that.
the car. But I think it's one of those things where kind of going back to the idea of being undeniable, be undeniable in your work ethic, right? If you want to be undeniable there. Make sure that from sun up to sundown, you checked all the boxes that you needed to check that day for your off season and in your contest prep. I think it was Mike Nassif that posted something about like people finding too much balance in the off
Yeah,
season where it's like they
dude.
didn't do a good job creating what they needed to create and bring up what they needed to bring up because they were so worried about like being normal that they didn't do the bodybuilding thing. And like
Yeah.
there's, in my opinion, very much a dimmer switch. It's not on and off light switch, it's a dimmer, right? And for me being in my off season for almost 5.5 years, right? It's like
Same.
that's one of those things where it's like I still trained, I still tracked, I still worked with my coach. Did we have a bit more flexibility with off-plan meals? Absolutely. Like, did I, you know, I mean, I always track my shit, so it's not that big of a deal, but it's like I still showed up, but there was a little bit of flexibility programmed in for longevity because I had a lot of fucking shit I needed to grow. I still do. But when it comes to prep, that dimmer needs to be a lot brighter. That dimmer switch needs to be turned up with everything, right? So it's like rather than being undeniable on stage and like winning that card or winning your class, like play to win and be undeniable in your work ethic. I think that's a great take home message because that's what you can control. You can't control that another bitch was even more undeniable and beat your ass. Good for her, right? Like if you show up at your best and someone beats you, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna suck. You're gonna have an emotional response. But the person that beats you, dude, I mean, especially when like they look better than you, like congratulate them because they also played to win. And I know that's really hard to kind of shake hands with it, but it's like if you lost to someone better, to me that would be an honor because it's like okay I have work still to do now. Granted, again, going back to the subjectivity of the sport, if you lost to someone that you're like, well, how did I lose to you? Because it's like it didn't make sense. It's like, okay, well, this is why it's really important to get the judges feedback, but then also understand the judges are subjective and they judge based on what they liked. So I understand that that caveat might be a little confusing, especially to new time competitors, but just because you play to win doesn't mean you're going to win.
Hmm.
100%. I think it's important to like, don't blame the judges. Don't go on social media and be like, I don't know how I didn't win my class. I looked better. This,
Mhm.
that,
Dude.
third. That's something that needs to stop because at the end of the day, did you get your feedback? Does your feedback make sense? Like, I mean, just speaking from my own point of view, I'm like, I knew my upper body could be too big going into the
Yeah.
show. That's why I stopped training it. So I'm not going to sit there and be like, the judges were wrong. Like, do I have my own opinion on how the class could have gone? Of course, we all do. It's subjective. But the blame game is just, it's immature. It doesn't look good on you. It doesn't look good on your coach. And like, I think people forget judges have social media.
Dude, that.
Very small community. So the probability of, especially in the local level, probability of a judge seeing your nasty sideways comments are very
Hmm.
likely. So
Yeah.
just be
Absolutely.
mindful of how you present yourself. Don't be a sore loser.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because,
there's good sportsmanship look either. Like,
right,
Hmm.
It's not. And
like,
as much as I don't want to be like, oh, it's politics, especially at the pro level, it is. There is politics when it comes to judging criteria too. Especially at the pro level. It's how you represent yourself as a pro for the sport. And if you like after every pro show, you go in there and be like, oh, like fuck this judge, like they don't know how to judge, yada yada. It's like they're gonna know that, and you're never gonna place in the top five again. I can guarantee. Like doesn't matter if you're the best in the class. Like you have to respect the judges because, like, I don't know, I
I would,
just hmm?
I was gonna say, I think that goes for more than even just respecting the judges, but how you carry yourself as a person. I mean,
Respecting the
look at
sport.
all this.
Yeah,
Well, look at this all that's happened with Sunny Andrews.
yeah,
I
true,
don't know
true.
anything about that, so I'm out of the
yeah,
loop.
what?
There's been a lot that's impacted her competing career between like personal drama and OnlyFans and all this type of stuff.
Oh.
Dude.
But yeah, I think that for us that are still amateurs, if your goal is to go pro, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like I think that's a great goal as long as you have the work ethic to match, but also understand it's also out of your hands since it is a result that's based on subjectivity. But if your goal is to be a professional athlete, you better act like a fucking professional athlete year round. And
Yes,
that is
ma'am.
not just like macros and training. No, no, no. It's at your gym, re-racking your shit, wiping off your equipment. If someone has a question, don't be a dick. Like, if you want to be a pro, act like a pro. Help people regardless of where you're at, right? And I know this is again Miss America, but like you go to the store, you buy a shit ton of food for meal prep, put away your fucking cart. It's like it goes to just respecting the little things because if you can't be bothered to do with little things, you are a poor ambassador for the sport, and I don't want you representing it. I see you ladies nodding, and I appreciate that. But like, some people will be like, "Oh, it's not that big of a deal." Yes, it is. It is a big deal
Mhm.
because
It
you
is.
represent the entire sport of bodybuilding. So it's just like be a fucking good person. Like it's really not that hard. It's not.
Yeah. Dude, and that's why I'm like, I get it. We have our moments in prep. We're hungry. We're tired. Like our temper can be a little testy sometimes. But like when you're in the gym and you're training, like I get it. Sometimes I have a resting bitch face. I do. I do. But if you come up to me, I'm not gonna be like, I'm in prep. I gotta do my set. Like, fuck off. Like, there's some pros with that mentality. And I'm just like, yuck. Like, that's just a gross mentality. Like, this person, sure, if they're like talking your ear off, be like, hey, listen, like I'd love to like continue this conversation after my training or something like that. Like be nice about it. You don't have to be like, dude, like what the fuck? Like I'm training for a regional show in 12 weeks. Like fuck out of here. Like, are you kidding me?
A
But
hundred percent.
it's like what? Same with like relationships, how like you treat your partner during prep. They didn't choose for you to be in prep. So like for you to be a
Eric chose. He's like, you need to fucking compete.
he chose for you. Yeah, well, Will didn't, and I'm gonna try to not be a bitch. So,
So many people ask me like, so how is it? Because my boyfriend and I did the same regional show last year. They're like, oh, I bet prepping with your significant other is hard. I'm like, not really. Like your attitude, you dictate your attitude, whether you're hungry, whether you're tired, like that's up to you. If you guys have issues, it's so much deeper than bodybuilding. It
yeah,
has nothing to do with the fact that you're getting ready for a show.
yeah,
So that's even, I try to tell my clients, like, and I think the more times you compete, the less likely you are to
yeah.
be susceptible to those like little episodes or tantrums and things like
Hmm.
that. So
Yeah. Like I'll be
I,
honest, a few weeks ago I was really hurting on energy to the point where like again I got labs because it was scary how low the energy was. And it was like I broke down in tears just because I felt like what I was calling myself a little bitch. I was like, you're such a fucking pussy. You don't deserve to be here. Like I was literally saying that out loud, crying to Eric, and he just showed me love and compassion. He's like, what you chose is hard. He's like, it is hard. You are going to have these moments. And there's nothing wrong with feeling like things are hard as long as you like feel what you need to feel and continue on anyway. But I wasn't like, fuck the sport. This is dumb. This is stupid. I was mad at myself. I was mad at myself for having a hard time. And it's like, I know that if I were to text any of my girlfriends, they would be loving and compassionate and encouraging. So it's like, it's one of those things where communicate within all your relationships too so that way you deal with the negative emotions without thrashing at someone. There's a difference between having a really hard time and needing support versus taking it out on people that love you. And like I'll be
Hmm.
honest, Eric needs a lot of snaps and claps right now because it is to the point where I will tell him I was like I'm having a really hard time. Can we go on a walk together because that will help me. So it's like getting steps, getting my neat, if you will. He is really starting to walk with me when it's like not my formal cardio, of course, because it's like
Hmm.
I'm having a hard time just like doing it by myself, like getting inside my head. I'm so fucking over music at this point. There's not enough music out there to just make me happy. But it's like knowing that I can talk to Eric about his day, about what he wants to talk about, and I can just listen and go on a walk. Like I feel so loved and supported. And he's done a great job of stepping up so that way I can be successful and check off my boxes while also
Hmm.
still being a good wife and having that quality time together.
Hmm.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you can't sacrifice your relationships for prep because, after you win your show or lose your show, then you gotta still come home, hopefully come home to that person. Hopefully you didn't
Right.
split
No,
up because of the prep.
100%. 100%. No, we literally just celebrated 8 years of marriage on Tuesday, and we had like the cutest little prep date, if you will, where it's like I had my Diet Coke and my meal prep, and he bitch ate a pretzel the size of like Finn, like Meg's dog. You know what I'm saying? It was a big ass pretzel. Then he's like, I want a sandwich. And that boy put down a sandwich after. I was like, God bless.
God. I know. Dude, I'm so bad. I'm trying to get Will fat. I swear. Like if we're in the bakery aisle of Publix, I'm like over there like looking at the cheesecakes. I'm like, all right, you're gonna get this one.
You're
You're
like,
gonna try
Will, eat this
this
for me.
one. He's like, the fuck? I'm trying to like he's trying to get bigger right now, but not like fat. And I'm over here like, look at this place. Like, get this donut this weekend. Because I'm just trying to live vicariously through him. It's love.
I
That's me
love it.
baking for my boyfriend and like his weekly cheat meal. I'm like, so what do you want for your weekly cheat meal? I made cinnamon rolls the
Mine is
other week.
like, ugh.
And
Dude,
well,
I can't bake,
he put
so
down. He's put on like 50 pounds in like 5 months. So
damn.
not fat, not fat. But I'm sure I'll live. I'm way behind you guys in prep. So like I'm quite a
You're
bit
not
out.
behind, you're where you need to be.
Right, but as far as like I'm sure it'll get
Physically
worse.
timeline.
It'll
Gotcha.
only get worse. I'll be like, so in the position back then, buy this, buy that.
Yeah.
Do you guys like salty pretzels or the sweet pretzels? Just sort of like what Eric had.
I like salt,
So,
man. I love salt. I like the chunky salt.
all right, so this is where the fat Ash is going to come out. Fat Ashley is going to come out. So, I love pretzels, and when I was obese, Auntie Anne's was my girl. Like, I had a lot of aunts on my side of the families, but Auntie Anne's was my favorite
She
aunt.
was the
Like,
bitch.
she was the best aunt.
Not Aunt
I
Jemima.
no, Auntie Anne's was better. Like, that's how much I have a hard on for pretzels. So. I did not discriminate. I would do the classic with like mustard. I would do the cinnamon sugar with like salted caramel dipping
Icing.
sauce or cream cheese. Like I did not discriminate in my pretzels. But now that I'm much more mature and refined in my palate, I am satisfied with just the classic. Just give me a salty pretzel and I'm a happy girl.
What about the like jalapeno cheddar pretzels? Ugh,
That just sounds like a
bad
bad
idea.
idea. It
Yeah,
Sounds like a
really does.
stomach.
I agree.
Like I would probably enjoy it for 5 minutes, but then like what are the consequences, Megs? What are the consequences of those poppers? Is it gonna pop me off? Because like I can't handle
Shitting fire.
that.
That is the consequence. Side effects. You
Laura, what
might
about you?
shit
Oh,
fire.
I don't like it at all.
But what about
So
what's your pretzel? Salty or sweet?
salty.
Yeah.
I don't think I've
Dude.
ever had a sweet pretzel, to be honest.
It's a super fat
I'm a
person thing.
cinnamon sugar.
Yeah, the
But
cinnamon sugar is so good.
It is
that's,
good. It is good, but it's a
that's,
commitment, dog.
Mhm.
I used to be fat too.
Yeah, so see, mine, it's definitely like if you get a cinnamon sugar pretzel, you are just likely fat. Like that is just a fat person thing, and that's okay, right? I own it. Like it's something where it's like it had a time and a place in my heart and in my arteries, and now we're
And
through
in my
that.
arteries.
We're through that. I do have one fun question though, if
Hmm.
we're ready to go into questions. So the
I'm
fun
ready.
question is, what do you think is the most sassy kitchen utensil?
Shit. Oh my God. I'm
Does it
stuck
have to,
between like
can it be
two.
like a motorized one?
So I was thinking about that. It needs to be an old-fashioned utensil. I will be okay with battery operated, but
Okay.
it can't be
Hmm.
a plug-in. So I'm not thinking appliances. I'm thinking like
Okay.
handheld stuff.
I'm gonna say a whisk
Ooh,
because like it twirls around. It like you could flick it. Like I don't
yeah.
know. It just seems very. It's got a little flair to it, like a whisk. Yeah, that's it. That's a sassy. Or you could do like a pasta ladle thing.
That was my answer originally. I'm like, it's
Yeah.
the pasta scooper. Like that's got to be a sassy bitch. But then I changed my mind. Mine, I'm gonna
To
go with
what?
like a little cheese knife. Because like that is sassy and pretentious. Like if you have
That
a
is
cheese knife,
charcuterie.
yeah. Like
Hmm.
you have a
You
cheese
can use
knife.
it for one thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She
You
exactly.
is
don't
not
pull that out.
versatile.
Yeah. You don't pull
Exactly.
that
Like
out for
she's
anything else.
princess, she's coming out to slice that cheese, and I'm like, oh, you
Hmm.
bitch. You a sassy bitch. I respect it though.
Yeah. I like that. Speaking of utensils, kind of, do you guys like small utensils or big utensils? Like, I never use big ones, like big forks. I'm like,
Small.
no,
Do
small.
you use baby forks too?
Not baby, but just like the smaller
The
one of
small,
the
the
two.
salad fork, yeah, me
Yeah, the
too.
Oh,
salad
Yep.
fork. I don't
I
use
may have
baby
ordered like
utensils yet.
treat yourself. Order a for real baby fork. Like
Yeah.
because I was using small forks and I was like, yo, these just aren't small enough. Just
They're
that's
not
kind of how I
small.
feel with my baby spoons too. I'm like, I'm gonna go on like eBay or Temu and buy like Coke stir. No, that's not what I meant to say. But
I
like
was gonna say that's pretty
drink
small.
stirs, the old-fashioned drink stirs. But like I want the
That's so
spoon to
funny.
be the size of my pinky nail for real.
I
I'm just
feel
saying
so seen.
though, the Shein ones, they do have Coke spoons. So
They
they
have
sell
spoons
them
at Shein?
I don't
for
doubt it.
sniffing things
Interesting.
up your nose.
I promise I would use it for eating.
Yeah.
You guys see me
That's
super,
so
super
funny.
lean. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
That's so funny. What about Laura? What do you think is the most sassy kitchen utensil?
Maybe like a cheese grater,
Okay.
like the
Oh,
for like the
Yeah.
block, like the handheld one, not the one that you like grind it up the side like you're holding
Yeah,
it and
not
it
like
looks like
the
a
cheese
Parmesan.
slice.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
see
could see
you.
that being sassy.
I see you. That's
Yeah.
dangerous too. That's dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
it's sassy, but you could, shred your skin off.
Yep,
That's
done
right.
it.
Ugh.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
it's she a bitch. She a bitch. Mina, is your answer a baby spoon?
No, I mean, no, it should be. I have a whole separate section. You said it could be battery operated, so I was thinking the frother.
That's what
Like,
I was
Hmm.
thinking you were gonna say though.
yeah,
Yeah,
Sassy.
that's pretty sassy.
Yeah, so I think
like
Meg and Mina are on the same like
Whisk and
frothing, the
frother.
whisk. Yeah, and then Laura and I are just like with cheese, I guess. Just like,
Hmm.
slicing cheese, cutting cheese. I like it. Let's conclude with our gratitudes and we'll wrap this shit up. What are we thankful for and grateful for?
Who's starting?
Well, let's let Mina start.
Yeah.
I'm super grateful to be here with you guys today.
No.
I watched this well, even before the podcast came out. I started following Megan back in like 2019, so it's
That's
like
so
we're
cool.
all fangirling still a little bit. Um, I'm thankful just to be able, and it's like cheesy to be able to do this, especially with a quick turnaround. Like, not everybody can go from being on stage in December to like dieting in April. And just that my body's allowing me to do it, that I have the support in my life to do it and
Hmm.
the stability to do it. I would say like bodybuilding is the epitome of food security. So I'm just
Hmm.
really grateful to be able to do what I love every single day. Like I'm talking to you guys on a Thursday afternoon.
Right.
I'm not at my 9 to 5. So
I love that. That's awesome. I'm grateful for my ability to realize that I need to slow down because I noticed I was getting stressed and anxious for honestly no fucking reason. And I was like, okay, I get to do this. I get to wake up and serve my clients and like do what I love. Like, there's nothing better than that. Kind of like what you're saying, Mina. Like, this is honestly a dream come true. And sometimes I'm very stressed and anxious because I'm not getting everything done or doing everything exactly on the same time that I should. And it's like, chill. Like it's just life, like it's not that serious. So I'm just grateful for my ability to finally realize that and just chill, slow down.
you live in the
Answer.
dream.
Yeah.
Good answer. What about
Like
you,
a
Laura?
bug bite.
Um, I would say I'm grateful for I feel like my team is really growing into what I imagined for myself as far as like clients that are there to do
Mhm.
the work and are giving it their all. And that's been really rewarding, I guess, from my aspect because I am that same in the return. And having a like universal relationship that works so well is really nice.
Nice. I love that for you.
Like that. You guys are all giving like nice philosophical Miss America answers, and I'm like over here like I was gonna be thankful that I bought my first big girl couch.
That's a
No,
big
that's
one.
sick.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's a big
she
one. I
is
like that couch. Looks
in the
nice.
background from Costco, our Lord and Savior. They literally set it up for us. They took out
Yeah.
the boxes, broke down the boxes, took the boxes away.
Yeah.
Like they took care of us. And let me
That's
tell
what's
you,
up.
that couch is so nice and like it's so big to the point where because of how it connects, like it can like be either a big couch, it can be a couch sectional, or it can even be like a bunch of chairs.
That's
Like this
awesome.
bitch comes apart and I think it's really cool. So I'm thankful for my financial security to invest in a nice sectional.
I love that. Dude, Ashley Furniture is the same way. They can come in and build your shit for you.
Do
That's
people
what we
named
did.
Ashley or just superior?
Yeah, of course.
Mina girl, thank you
Um,
so much for your time. It was so great to connect with you
Yes.
again. The gals and I are obviously very, very thankful and grateful that you were able to hop on with us. But before we conclude, why don't you plug yourself so that way
Mm-hmm.
people know how to find you on socials, they can hire you for contest prep and posing, and just brag about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to do that. You can follow me at major.mina. So I'm kind of a play on music there. I have an application in my link tree for posing and contest prep coaching. I do contest prep and lifestyle coaching. Posing is really like I'm passionate about it all, but like posing is where it's at for me. I've been doing that since 2021, pretty much full time. So bikini wellness, fit model. I started in fit model, or well, I started in bikini, but doing that fit model front pose. So it's been really fun bringing that back. But yeah, that's about it.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Definitely follow her. She's gonna
Yes.
she's gonna go far.
Pro card
Thanks.
loading.
Pro card loading.
But um, so are you guys? I know everyone has to kind of go, but are both of you guys going to Junior USA's
Is that at the end of May? It's
May
colder
30th? I
May.
think.
Is it?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the one local to me, right?
May
Yeah.
Charleston, yeah.
1st.
Yeah, I'll probably go for prejudging on Friday to look at bikini, but I'm probably won't be like doing Friday and Saturday just from a cost standpoint, because it's like the tickets are fucking expensive.
Yeah. We'll see. If they have a Violate booth, I might talk to Will and see if I can swing it and drive myself over there. This is like 3 hours away, so
Mhm.
shouldn't be that big of a deal.
I'm also like 3 hours away from Charleston. I'm about
Yeah,
like an hour and 15 from UMag.
I know. We need to meet. We
Awesome.
need to train. What the fuck?
I know. I can talk to Maya
Well,
and
lower body. We'll have to match up our lower body day.
I mean, will one time hurt?
One time lifting with Meg turns into WPD.
That's so funny.
Sorry, Dustin. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna reach out. Thank you
Yeah.
guys so much for having me. Literally, it's like my little dream come true. I've watched
Oh,
literally every
oh,
single episode. I've been
that's
with you guys
awesome.
for a while, so it's
Well,
really cool
thank
to be
you.
here, and I really appreciate you having me on.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, guys, we'll catch you next time. In the meantime, be good to yourself. Ladies, love you.
Peace.
Bye,
Take care.
ladies.
Bye.
Bye.